All right. So tonight we have a Q&A. Yeah? Then tomorrow we have a closing talk. Is it? Yeah. This one very dicey. This one. Please clarify between Sayālay Meiji versus Bhikkhuni. Please clarify the difference between Sayālay Meiji versus Bhikkhuni. Question 2. Does Sayālay represent the monastic? As layperson, we often encounter Sayālay due to Burmese tradition. How should we regard them? Is it the same as other yogis? No? Okay. First of all, please clarify between what is Sayālay versus Bhikkhuni. Now, this question, you see, different monks will give you again different interpretation. Okay. Now, the Sayālays, for example, like in front here, there's two Sayālay, the way they wear, the precepts they're taking, and how the ordination is being taken, was taken at the first time. So then they wear the robes, they live in the monastic life, then we regard them as Sayālay, or if in the Thai tradition, we regard them as Meiji. Whereas Bhikkhuni, here the Bhikkhuni here, again here, in the Theravada tradition, some monastics are some monks does not recognize the Theravada Bhikkhuni, because this is a very recent thing. Now, some monks recognize the Theravada Bhikkhuni. So, in other words, because of this Theravada Bhikkhuni, then there is views among the monks are very different. Which camp are you siding? Which camp? And this has become a very delicate issue, a very delicate issue. You see, if you ask me, so Bhante, where do you stand on this issue? So where do you stand on this issue? You see, if I were to against the Theravada Bhikkhuni, then a whole group of monks will against me. If I side with the Theravada Bhikkhuni, then the other opposite camp also will go against me. If you say that you don't side the Bhikkhuni, or neither you side or don't side, then both camp also will say you better take one. You also better take one. So where's your stand right now? So it's a bit delicate issue. So it all depends on how you view in all these type of things. It's how you view in this way, what type of monks you are in, whether you are a Bhikkhuni, whether you are a Sayālay, how they look at these things. In the recent years, it becomes an issue, a big issue for a certain monastic tradition. And it's a big issue. It's a big issue. Some says that ordination, it is not valid because accordingly, the tradition of Theravada Bhikkhuni has gone when it came to Sri Lanka, because at one time Sri Lanka was going through many years of famine. So the famine, then the Bhikkhuni, the lineage of a Theravada Bhikkhuni died down. But then again here, so with that, the conservative of the monks will say that since it's already died down, you cannot revive it anymore, because in order for it to be revived, it needs a Theravada Bhikkhuni tradition to ordain the nun to the person, and also he needs a Sangha to ordain the person. That means he has a double ordination there. One from a Theravada Bhikkhuni, one from a Sangha Bhikkhuni. A Sangha Bhikkhu. Sangha Bhikkhu. So here, if you don't have the Theravada Bhikkhuni, how are you going to ordain the person? So according to this one. But according to another school of thought, is that Theravada, this bhikkhuni is still survive in the Mahayana tradition. It survive in the Vajrayana tradition. They have bhikkhunis also, then the conservative says that it's very different already, because the way the ordination, the way that how they do is very different. But some monks interpret that it is correct, it is still valid. So when it's valid, then you can start to ordain Theravada Bhikkhuni again, because you have a Theravada, you have a Bhikkhuni still there. So it's a bit delicate issue over here. Yeah, a bit delicate issue. So therefore, if you talk on, let's say, Theravada Bhikkhuni, now if you talk about Theravada Bhikkhuni right now, not let's say, don't apply it nowadays lah. Now in the Theravada Bhikkhuni, you're supposed to have 311 precepts. There are more precepts than the Sangha, than the monks. But does that mean that more precepts, they are higher? Not really, Don't think that more precepts, they are higher. Because even they have 311 precepts, accordingly, in the tradition, if they have a proper, if you have to bow down to a monk, you have to pay respect to a monk. Even the bhikkhuni has been like 30, 40 years as a bhikkhuni. And then that monk is just, or that bhikkhu just ordained the first day. Then the bhikkhuni also have to pay respect to the person. That's how the Buddha laid down, not because of how we want it. Because again, here you must realize that during the Buddha's time, the community, during that community, is the patriarchal society. Male first. The male is always on the top. The female is very way down. So if you find that the male in the society, male begin to pay respect to this one, it jeopardizes the whole community. We should not think of how we want equality in our modern life right now. It's very different society compared to now, during the Buddha's time and compared to now. This is 2,500 years ago. So it's very different society, different culture, different thing. So that's why the Buddha prevents even the monk to pay respect to the bhikkhuni, because of how the society view the monks, how they view the whole system. So nowadays, but we're talking about equality thing. And that also is another area lah. I don't want to go inside. Then I'll go inside. Tomorrow I cannot go back. Tomorrow you will start start to be hot. So Theravada Bhikkhuni. So the Bhikkhuni, they have 311 precepts. Sayālay Mechi, they have 8 precepts or 10 precepts. If they want to have the precept of not taking money. Anyway, these are the certain thing. And again, here is how they wear. So bhikkhuni also, they wear something like that. They wear also something like this. But again, here, whether, let's say in Malaysia, whether do people recognize them? Do devotees recognize them? Does Buddhist society recognize, or does the temple recognize them, or the monastery recognize them? So it's a bit dicey over here. So the difference is very much to do with how they ordain, what are the precepts, the thing like that. Now, does Sayālay represents the monastic? Does Sayālay represent the monastics? Spiritually, yes. Technically, not really. But that is another area. Technically, not really, because then I mean, in the traditional Theravada system, it's bhikkhu bhikkhunis is the, in a way, is the monastics, bhikkhuni. But whereas, as I said, to the lineage is very gone, and then in the Burmese tradition, they recognize only Sayālay. Yeah? They recognize Sayālay. So in a way, spiritually, yes, because in Burma, there are many monasteries which is all Sayālay only. They're all Sayālays only. They are young, from a very young to a very old. They're all nuns only. And you go there, you pay respect to them also. You go there, you donation. You go there, you look at them. Everything is very spiritually organized. Yeah. It's very spiritually organized. They have their way of doing things. They are very systematic in a certain way, teaching, behavior, and so on. So spiritually, they represent the monastic. Not that they don't. So they spiritually, they still represent the monastic. So as long as we are not so biased in our way of how one person wear and what is that, so we have to be more careful, because I've seen that many devotees sometimes, when they look at nuns, a Meiji, or whether it's a Sayālay, they really look down on them, as if like they are third class of nothing there. So don't do. So when we want to deal with them, make sure that we also give them certain respect also. After all, they are less hair than you. For ladies that have no hair, it's a big thing. After all, they in a way they ordain also. And also there are people in the monastic, because of that also, they don't work. They don't go outside anymore. They don't go outside and do all kinds of things. They stay in monastery. They practice in a sense. So very much to do like a practitioner, but in a Sayalay ropes, in the ropes. So we give them due respect. We give them due respect. It's perfectly all right, because they are wholesome people. They are virtuous people too. Yeah? Yeah. If you treat them like, sometimes some places they treat the nuns as just like any other yogis. Usually I don't really, this one, I don't really agree. Something like that. When you take a flight now, you take a flight, you have like economy seat, you have a business class, economy class, business class. Sayālay is like a premium economy. Somewhere in between, but you are not business class yet, but you're still premium economy. You're higher than all the economy. Something like that now. Yeah. In a way, they are higher in that sense. So something like that. So how do we regard them? So just now, as I mentioned, that we just give them their due respect. Some people pay respect to them and so on, then it's perfectly all right too. Okay, so that's about it for tonight. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so we share merits. Idang me bawanang nibbanasa pachayo hotu. May my mental cultivation be a condition for the realization of nibbana. Imang no punya bagang sabba satanang dema. We share these merits with our departed ones, with all beings and all the devas. Sabbe satta Suki hontu. Anumodantu. May all beings be happy. May they rejoice in these merits. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.